You're listening to a Roddenberry podcast.
Today's Tuesday, August 10th, 2021, and this is your daily Star Trek news from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. On today's show, Eugene, Cordero, and Noël Wells discuss Rutherford and Tendi's relationship in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2. Explore Deep Space Nine and beyond with the new Designing Starships book from Hero Collector, and we're talking about B'Elanna Torres in this week's Trek Trivia. I'm Alison Pitt, and today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. The cast of Star Trek Lower Decks has been making the rounds as the premiere of Season 2 approaches, and TrekCore.com had a chance to sit down with Eugene Cordero and Noël Wells, who play ensigns Samantha Rutherford and B'Elanna Tendi on the show. The two spoke about the friendship between their two characters and how these two excitable ensigns evolve in the next season. In the first season, Tendi was a bit naive, Wells said. In the new season, she gets to sort of take herself to the next level. You'll see her pushing back a little bit more, having a little bit more agency, and not only taking more risks, but standing up for herself more too. Cordero and Wells also addressed the relational dynamic between the two characters, which has led to some fan speculation concerning the future of their relationship. Cordero said, "The great thing about the Tendi-Rutherford relationship is that it is a kind of intellectual love they have for each other, in a way you might have with a coworker or somebody who's just as passionate about the work as you are." When asked to consider if that connection might lead to something else, Cordero added coyly, "Who knows what it is? I think sexual tension within a cartoon is always kind of weird, so I don't know." The two actors also touched on how Tendi's Orion roots play into the new season, the way their two characters relate to the rest of their new crew, and how it feels to have their very own action figures. And you can read it all at TrekCore.com. We all know that Star Trek fans love their starships, and let's face it, there are a ton of starships to love. Among the books out there that can help a fan learn more about them are those in the Designing Starships series from Hero Collector. Trek Movie is featuring a preview of the latest volume in that series, Deep Space Nine and Beyond, set to be released this month. The book features full-color pictures of the ships from DS9 itself and the USS Defiant, to alien ships from various Trek shows and films, along with illustrations of concept designs. Interviews with concept artists fill in the backstory behind the ships that we see on screen. Editor Ben Robinson said, in addition to exploring how each ship was created and utilized on Deep Space Nine, the production art and conversations offer fascinating glimpses into what it could have been, than to concepts considered but not used. Previous volumes in the Designing Starships series have covered ships from Star Trek Voyager, the Kelvin Timeline films, and Star Trek Discovery, among others. Deep Space Nine and Beyond will be available on August 24th, and you can pre-order it now at Amazon.com or wherever you get your books. For more on the upcoming Star Trek Designing Starships, Deep Space Nine and Beyond, including some sample pages from the book, visit TrekMovie.com. Now, I've got Trek Trivia Tuesday here in just a moment, but first, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. You know, sometimes when you really need help, actually going and getting help feels like a pretty big ask. You have to find someone who might not be suitable, you have to make an appointment and leave the house, which right now is a little scary. And you have to commit money to something that you're not even sure will be worth it. Enter BetterHelp. BetterHelp is trying to make that whole process easier so there are fewer barriers between where you are now and where you want to be. It's more affordable than traditional counseling. You can schedule messages or meetings at times that work for you, all from the comfort of your own home. And they even make it easy and free to change counselors if you need it. If you're facing that big hill between you and the help you need, it might be time to look at BetterHelp. I want you to start living a happier life today. And as a daily Star Trek news listener, you can get 10% off your first month of counseling by visiting betterhelp.com/DSTN. Join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health Again, that's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DSTN. And now, it's Trek Trivia Tuesday. Did you know, when B'Elanna Torres was young, her father John left her and her mother. Her exact age at the time was either around 5 or 6 or 11 or 12, depending on which episode of Star Trek Voyager you watch. But shortly before he deserted them to return to Earth, she heard him complaining about her moody and angry behavior, attributing it to her Klingon mother, Noël, and saying that he had a hard time living with two Klingons. Her father's attitude, coupled with the bullying she endured in grammar school, led to B'Elanna's lifelong feeling of alienation and prompted her to attempt to genetically alter her unborn child's Klingon appearance in the 7th season episode, Lineage. So now, a trivia question for you. After John left B'Elanna and Noël, they moved away. But where did they live, and where did they move to? Find out on Friday's episode of Daily Star Trek News. Now there's just one more thing. Please don't forget, we've got a giveaway running now through the end of the week for Star Trek Online codes. We've got 5 Klingon personnel packs to give away for each of Xbox One and PlayStation 4. It's easy to enter, just retweet our giveaway tweet, or you can just email me. The address is info@dailystartreknews.com, and you use the subject line Star Trek Online. For more information, head to dailystartreknews.com/Star Trek Online. Entries closed on Saturday, August 14th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time. Once again, that's dailystartreknews.com/Star Trek Online. And good luck. Well, that's it for today's Daily Star Trek News from the Roddenberry Podcast Network. Don't forget to check out the other great shows on the network at podcasts.roddenberry.com. Daily Star Trek News is produced by me, Alison Pitt, and written by Chris Peterson, Jack Brown, and David Powell, with trivia by T. Rick Jones. Today's show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month of counseling at betterhelp.com/DSTN. I'm back tomorrow with more of the Star Trek news you need to know, and this week in Trek history. I'm Alison Pitt. Live long and prosper.
This is a Roddenberry podcast. For more great podcasts, visit podcast.roddenberry.com.